Hey guys, this is Comic Ken, and this is kind of an important point when it comes to making comics. Sometimes you need to make a single comic before you decide whether it's for you or not. And I'm not talking about just one single panel or a single strip. I'm talking about, let's say, a full book of maybe 20 to 30 pages. And you can decide whether it's something you want to continue doing, something you want to make for a living, or something you want to do just as a hobby. Because a lot of people think that they have to do it once they develop the skills to do it. And that's not the case in comics. This is something that I thought for a really long time, especially after I finished my first couple of comics. And I realized over time that that is not necessarily the case. And I'm going to tell you what you can do instead and the other options you have as a comic artist if you decide that comics aren't for you. So let me show you my first ever fully completed, written and drawn and colored comic that I ever did. This was Air Rider number 0. It was basically my pilot chapter that I did in the Kubert School. It was 8 pages, and it was like the first thing I ever drew with all the skills and abilities I had at the time. It was kind of rushed because it was an assignment in between a whole bunch of other assignments we had during the second year of the Kubert School. But once it was done, it's like we had this full little like zine that we could like print out and sell if we wanted to. And I have sold a lot of these little like mini um, chapters, and it is included in the back of the first issue of the official comic. But once I made this, I was just like, dang, so this is the whole process of making comics. Okay, okay. I do want to do it better, so I'm gonna make another one. And that is what became Air Rider issue number 1, where I did the full process of making a comic book. I did the cover, I did the lettering, I did literally every aspect of this book that you see. I did all of it. I drew all the interiors, did the design for the page layout, uh, all of it, the lettering, coloring, all that stuff, just to show off to people at school, like, hey, I can make a comic and I can finish it. And this was 26 pages. It was the my first attempt at making a longer form story, and after that, I decided like I gotta keep doing this. I need to get better at it. That's what I really thought after making those first 2 comic books. I was just like, dang, I need to get better and I need to get faster, because if I want to create at the pace of my favorite manga series, or create the stories or get up to the story beats that I want to reach in the comics that I have to tell, then I need to get faster and better at it and learn how to sell so that people will buy the work and keep reading what I'm doing, and I can make a living at it. Because for me, my whole life I've thought, or at least since I knew you could make money from it, I thought that making a living from my comics is like the ultimate expression of my skill as a creator. And I'm not saying that this is the case for everybody who makes comics. I'm just saying that this is how it's always felt to me, that if I could make something that truly touches somebody else, that truly resonates with somebody else, that I've done something right with the skills that I've developed to make comics. And I'm still working on that by creating my latest webcomic, Saintly, and it's still a work in progress to actually do what I did with Air Rider, but do it faster and do it better, have better draftsmanship, better coloring, all that stuff, and improve my craft to the point where I can draw how I imagine in my head. But a lot of people, after creating that first comic or making that first issue, realize this was a lot of work for not a lot of return. And that's basically it. Like, there's not a lot of return for what I've made with Saintly or Air Rider. Not enough to make a living at the very least, but it has shown me like, okay, I can sell, I can make money at this, I can do something with the work that I'm doing, but it is a grind, it is a slog of just making pages day in, day out, and trying to get fast enough to a point where you can do this continuously and make it into a livable wage. And for most people, they don't want to have to go through that route to be creatively fulfilled, and I don't blame them. What you can do instead in the industry is, because comics utilizes every aspect of the visual arts, you can basically take the skills that you use to make comics and use them in pretty much any other field. Like, comics takes character design, it takes illustration skills, it takes digital coloring skills, it takes like graphic design skills, lettering skills, organizational skills, time management skills, selling skills, writing skills. There's so many skills in the pipeline of making your own comic book that you can take any one of those skills, develop it, and use it to freelance for anything in the visual arts. These separate skills become services that you can sell if you were to get like exceptionally good at it, or even at a decent level that people would be willing to pay for. You don't have to do comics by themselves. You don't have to do it for a living. And in fact, I don't recommend anyone do it for a living. That is a a difficult road to walk down, and it takes a lot of maneuvering and finagling. And I'm going to do a video pretty soon on why it is difficult and what to look out for if you're trying to go down that path. So, yeah, that is why after doing your first comic, you might decide that it's not for you. And I listed out a few skills that you could do instead so that you could still either be in the industry or make a living somehow, and not throw all your eggs into just making comics if that's not what you want to do. So please check out my latest webcomic, Saintly. It is a demon chase horror action comedy about two best friends who have to outrun the demon loan sharks that they borrowed from. Basically, it's like Scooby-Doo meets K-pop Demon Hunters without the K-pop. And the story backs the main character into a corner where she has to decide between the hard path to success or lose her soul to the lure of easy money. And we get to see the ramifications of her choice, and if she can hide this deal with the devil from her friend, or if it will tear them apart. And I hope you read my comic in the description and check out the story. It should appear in your email inbox or your spam folder if you don't see it. And thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.